This is Susie Park with FOB 1010 News. Today, our top story is the Gibbons vs Ogden trial. We now go live to Asian reporter Trisha Takano with the story. Today, I'm outside the U.S. Supreme Court where day 2 of the Gibbons vs Ogden trial is about to begin. Yesterday, we learned that Gibbons tried to trade with his federal license on New York waters. However, New York had already granted all rights to operate on these waters to Ogden. Did New York really have the right to grant a monopoly to Ogden? Let us see.
Court is now in session. We will now hear the first full argument of Mr. Gibbons.
Your Honor, I have come to court to appeal to my federal rights. In the previous ruling in the New York City court concerning the case of Mr. Ogden and me, it was decided that I cannot operate on New York waters on the basis that the state granted Mr. Ogden a monopoly to control the area. I have reopened this case because I do not believe that my rights were fully executed. I am granted the license from federal law the right to regulate ships and trade in coastal waters. This license is valid since it is issued by federal law and Ogden's monopoly granted by the state does not overrule it.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Gibbons. Now we will hear from the defendant, Mr. Ogden.
I was granted the right to a monopoly by the state of New York, and Mr. Gibbons has no right to challenge that ruling, as was already decided in the New York State Court. I present to the court my first piece of evidence, Amendment 10 to the Constitution of the United States of America. This document reads, "The powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively, or to the people." Since there is no section of the Constitution that gives Mr. Gibbons the right to infringe upon my rights to a monopoly granted by the state of New York, he shouldn't be allowed to trade on my waters.
Mr. Gibbons, do you have any further evidence to present to the court?
Yes, Your Honor. In Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution, it clearly states the Congress shall have power to regulate commerce with foreign nations and among the several states. This means that Amendment 10 is invalid to this situation because the power of commerce was delegated to the Congress.
We will now take a brief recess before my ruling.
Ooh, that was intense. I'll report back later with the verdict, Susie. Thank you, Trisha. Now we go live for our weather report from Ollie Williams. Ollie?
It's raining sideways!
Sounds rough, Ollie. Do you have an umbrella?
Out one!
Where is it?
Inside out, 2 miles away!
Is there anything we can do for you?
Bring me some soup!
What kind?
Chunky!
Alright, we'll get on that. We'll be back with the verdict of the Gibbons vs Ogden trial shortly after this break.
Aww, I wish I had pretty hair.
You should try this. APUSH. It pushed into a new age of hair.
It's been such a long time.
We are back live at the U.S. Supreme Court to hear the ruling of the Gibbons vs Ogden trial. Let's listen in.
Now that I've considered both arguments and presented evidence, I rule in the favor of Gibbons, due to the fact that the Constitution states that the commerce among the several states is a power reserved to and exercised by the Congress. Thus the monopoly given to Mr. Ogden by the New York State was null. The Constitution states that the state government can create laws as long as they don't conflict with the laws made by the Congress. Court is now adjourned.
Well, there you have it, folks. Gibbons has won the trial. I guess New York didn't have the right to grant that monopoly after all. This has been Susie Park with FOB 1010 News. Stay tuned for Pokemon!
I wanna be the very best, like no one ever was. To catch them is my real test, to train them is my cause. I will travel across the land, searching far and wide. Each Pokemon to understand the power that's inside. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all. It's you and me. I know it's my destiny. Pokemon, oh, you're my best friend. In a world we must defend. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all. Our hearts so true, our courage will pull us through. You teach me and I'll teach you. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all. Gotta catch 'em all.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Gibbons. Now we will hear from the defendant, Mr. Ogden.
What? You do it? I don't know.
Hello, this is Susie Park with FOB 1010 News. Today, our top story is the Ogden versus Gibbons freaking trial.
Bring me some soup.
Ooh, that was intense. Ooh, that was intense. Ooh, that was intense.